Hello. You can't see me. I'm being held hostage by wild monkeys. And stuff. So we got Just Aid, Chipper, Killdeer, Zach, Posky, and Guns. I always wash my hands before I get out of the truck. What are you talking about? Ooh, watch out, everybody. The chaperone's here. Hey, Bruce. Well, I'm actually, an hour and 15 minutes early tonight. AC 103. The normal, I'm jacking SOS's spot because they're having a family night. And I figure people are always after me to try to break some kind of record on my live stream. So I figure, hey, I'll just start early and we'll do it that way instead of them keeping me up past midnight. So, oh, you're outnumbered then. You do realize that even Marines don't have any defense against cuteness, right? And they each have like a cuteness factor of 1,000. So that's like 1,000.
They're definitely adorable.
They're cute. Man. All right. I think hospital finds out where he lives. He probably gonna get his kid. Ain't no way those are his. I have coffee. I was thinking about percolating some of that there. What do you call it? Black Rifle Coffee Company stuff I got from the Grouchy dude. Let's see. Hey, Frank Burns. That sounds like somebody said hi, Frank. And there's Robert and Cindy. Anyway, tonight's video blog, or is that what it's called? Or is it called a podcast? Live stream. Tonight's live stream is brought to you by Audible. Because using Audible, you can like read books without having to use your eyeballs. All you have to do is listen, use your ears. They've been out of shape. Why isn't it bent blue? Yeah, no corn, no whiskey. Hey, Music Will. But yeah, I was actually checking. I was going to make me a bourbon, and I don't have any bourbon. Well, I'm sure I do. I just don't know where I put it. I don't drink that often, so I don't keep up with it. Well, go further than that, Bruce Clark, and just buy American. Be a nationalist. Be proud of stuff that's manufactured, not just sold, but manufactured in the U.S. of A. That is why I always research buying Toyota or Nissan, because they're made in Texas. Not only are they made in the USA, but they're made in my home state. So there you go.
Jay Scooney.
Hey, Grouch dude, I see you popped in. Jay Scooney, hello. Jay, we have a zero tolerance for stuff like that. Okay, that's your warning. Okay. Let me get that out of the way. And guys, give them a verbal on stuff like that. Type it in. Be like, hey, we don't play that. But we don't do trolls in here. Okay. We don't. We just tell you bye-bye. We don't hate on each other in here. We can have different opinions without hating each other. It's that simple. We don't all have to be, well, let's just go within the Christian religion. We don't all have to be Catholic. We don't all have to be Mormon. We don't all have to be the Way. We don't all have to be Baptist. We don't all have to be Methodist. We don't all have to be Lutheran. And the list can go on. We don't all, but we do not hate on anybody for their religion or their political opinion. We will discuss it openly. This is an open discussion. This is not a place for hate or intolerance. And we definitely don't call people ugly names just because, well, we're like that. So, anyway. Westman who? H&X and Westwind and stuff. Yeah, I noticed that, but I need to figure out some way to do like a pin on the chat or whatever. So anytime somebody comes in, you know how whenever you come in, YouTube's got the deal or whatever. But I need to be able to pin something up there that has like the rules for the chat. YouTube needs to give us the option to put a set of rules for the chat. You know, just because. I mean, if y'all want to talk like that and stuff, there's plenty of streams out there where they don't try to watch their language. There's plenty of streams out there where they don't care what you say over in the sidebar. There, you know, and go to one of those. There's plenty of them out there. Nobody's making you be here. Yeah, I like flea markets and stuff. We don't get to go to them anymore. They rent the ones and love it. It ain't even worth going to. I think they're still good on like the first of the month. The one over there off the interstate, wherever, 4th Street, wherever it is. The one that's still a giant parking lot where people have to come out and set up. Anyway, hey, Music Will. I think I already said hey, but I'll say hey again. We actually have a topic tonight. The let's get out of Dodge with clean hands. Now, granted, most of your post-apocalyptic books and movies and stuff all show things going to crap super fast. like within 48 hours. For starters, that's fiction. If it's just me, we can disagree, but you know, I'm gonna turn the camera on. I don't care if y'all see me smoke or not. Is there anybody in here trying to quit smoking? Look away. The almost clicked stop broadcast. That's the wrong red button. Anyhow, if there was an EMP attack, excuse me, would be a little different. The size of the device that they would have to pop at altitude to actually smack the entire North American continent. Because remember, if they do the U.S., they're going to they have to do Canada and Mexico. Okay, just the way it works. Okay, would be huge. If they were going to detonate it and go coast to coast. And there's only one kind of EMP device. Everybody keeps saying, well, an EMP device, all an EMP device is a thermonuclear device on steroids. That's all it is. They can't run a Tesla tower up there and just have it charge up and then all of a sudden just go boop, send out a big old DC charge across the planet. They don't have no laser gun or nothing. They don't need any of that. They just need to be able to get a big boompa up there and go boompa. Not saying that they're not already in place and they couldn't launch them from one of the extended orbits or whatever from the satellites that they're not allowed to use that they're using. Okay, I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that in the EMP, chances are it's going to have to be multiple things done at high altitude. If you're going to go through all that trouble, why not get some instant payout? Why not do it where the fireball grazes the ground? That would be the only situation, or a situation like that would be the only one where it goes to crap instantly. Where all the lights go off at one time. Because even if, which I lean towards this, I don't believe that all vehicles are going to quit running. A lot of the vehicles made past 2012, not all of them. A lot of them have been engineered to be resistant to electromagnetic pulses. Some of it was accidental, some of it is deliberate. Okay. Even if cars and stuff were still driving around, the fuel is going to quit within days, maybe within hours. I don't see that happening, but let's say it does. That coronal mass ejection that takes out the northern hemisphere or whatever, or let's say it goes global. Okay, so you're looking at traffic, vehicles still rolling up and down the road, say half of them will still start and run. traffic is going to be completely done. There's not going to be anybody driving. Maybe 2-3% of the vehicles still be on the road after the first 72 hours. The keep your hands clean is all these books and all these ideas, how I'm going to do things, how I'm going to run my business and stuff, all require people or suggest that you eliminate threats. And they paint a picture of every one of them, every one of the books that I've listened to, even the ones that I read before I listened to, they all paint the people who are going to be a threat as these same socio-ethnic groups or whatever. Y'all need to quit listening to people. The science that some of the books, behind some of the books, to how it could happen and the way the people are going to act and stuff, is solid. But there is no difference between a human being in New York City, basic down to the core human being in New York City, and a basic down to the core human being in South or Central West Texas. It's not. They all want their family to be safe. They want food. They want shelter. They want water. You know, it's all basic stuff. Knowing that, why do we keep feeding this fantasy that we all have that we're going to bust out a gun and shoot that guy that looks at our tomato plant? Like that tomato plant was your girlfriend or something. It's food. They always approach these things with, well, you could do it this way or that way or this way or that way. You always, there's some of the books are pretty good. The last one I listened to was like really good. I hope there's going to be a book 2. But yeah, I'm not plugging their books. This isn't a what you should read thing. I'm going to try to get a hard copy of that last one though, because it's actually really educational for if you're getting out of Dodge. It's all about getting out of Dodge. I mean, basically, it's not the name of it. You do not have to become part of the problem in order to formulate your solution. To eliminate the necessity for becoming part of the problem, you need to have a plan. A plan is a piece of paper or a set of mental notes if there's no action applied to the plan. If you are not consistent in your action towards your plan, nothing's going to happen. It will have holes in it all over the place. Part of that is going to need to be knowledge. That there in that book, they were talking about how they had thumb drived everything. That way, all they needed was a computer to be able to pull up an entire library. when you consider they're spending and have since the government has been spending the money since they figured out they could knock light bulbs out with a nuclear bomb. Been figuring out how to make individual items resistant to this stuff. The hardened stuff is designed to resist if they're like ground zero. The further away you are from ground zero, the less intensity there is in an EMP. It's just the way it works. It's energy, and as it spreads, it dissipates. Just like the light. I mean, the light you see or experience at 100 foot from a light bulb is not nearly, doesn't affect you as much as the light if you're standing 10 foot from the light bulb. Okay. People let a lot of fear mongering channels make it sound a lot worse than it's going to be, so they can sell you on more and more stuff. Okay, you got to watch that stuff. Hello, Steve. Hi. I learned that last night. LS, Aaron, Steve is Corsair. I'll learn it.
And Tina Rosen.
Tina. Hey, Tina.
She's on vacation.
You're on vacation? You're on vacation and you're in a chat on YouTube? What are you doing? You already blew all your money at Vegas, didn't you? Him? I saw Aaron. Oop, Rob's in here. Well, there goes the last half of this stream. I'm gonna have to find something else to talk about. People focus on the oh my God, it's gonna be so horrible. I'm not gonna be able to drive down the road. Not gonna be able to walk down the road. And then they just give up. And they don't have any plan at all because they can't figure out a way to do anything without, falling into one of the traps that they've read about in a book or one of the horrible situations they hear about on YouTube or whatever. Stop. For one, let's get out of Dodge with clean hands. Wash all that stuff off. Start over. Figure out from where you live and where you work the shortest route out of Dodge. That's step one of your plan. You did it. Didn't cost you anything. No zombies or Mary the Marauder, nothing showed up. Okay? But now you have the first part of your plan lined out. You mapped your way out of wherever you're at. Doesn't do you any good to have a bug out bag if you don't know how you're going to or where you're going to walk with it. Does it? Doesn't do you any good to have a bug out vehicle if you don't know the best route out of town.
Doesn't sound
That's
good.
what? The first step at the bottom, not the first step at the top, right? He just Oh. I ain't get no text or no phone call or nothing. So he ain't dead. Anyway, where was I at before I found out that Rob doesn't know how to walk? How fast can y'all slaughter a goat from head off to in the cooler aging? I set a new record today. I'm impressed with myself. Didn't think I would be able to do the one part by myself, and I figured out a way to do it, and now I have no more excuses. So, anyhow. Goat's just like a small deer. It's a really big rabbit. It's easier than a raccoon. You have to forgive me. I'm trying not to start a coughing fit. I have an itch in my throat. I was eating something earlier, and I got a lung full of pepper, black pepper. And my throat is now sore. Coughing all day. I started not to do this, but I'd already set it up. So. Agua. Don't tell AA I'm drinking. Anyway, there's skin to sheep. Skin sheep. Watch them skin an odd ones, which would be like a sheep, except it's a sheep and a goat. Anyways, after you get a plan to get out of Dodge, or a direction to run when you decide to start running, you're going, the zombies. You've made the step. Now you just need to figure out where you go from there. Have you made friends outside of Dodge? Do you know anybody that doesn't live in Dodge? Do you know anybody that lives in Dodge that might be able to get you? Is this a soft one? I found two over here that I thought were going to be good, and I put them in my mouth, and they were soft, and they didn't last. Somebody chewed them. Why does that taste like soap? No, I'm just talking. Did you just give me grandkid candy? Well, it doesn't have to be zombies. It can be anybody. A lot of your drug addicts and stuff are going to blitz. They're going to go down because the dealers, they're not, if it's pitch black, they're not going to want to do business. And if they can't, I mean, they don't want to do anything in pitch black anymore than anybody else does. If everything else is pitch black and you got something going on with a bunch of artificial light and stuff, you can stick out a sore thumb. The junkies are all going to be curled up in a ball somewhere trying not to die of DTs. Not all of them, but a lot of them. It's not going to be the way they portray it. Some deals will be worse. The one book, they actually had to save a woman from being raped who was about to be raped by one of her coworkers. Didn't figure anybody was going to be able to do anything about it because it was the end of the world, and it didn't work out for the guy. That's the other end of it. In the real world, the guy walking down the street that has read all this prepper porn and stuff like that, he has no intention of stopping his car and running across the street and being a hero. If his wife and kids are in the car, or his girlfriend, or his dog, or whatever, he's going to drive on by. Do not put over there, I wouldn't do that. Don't put that there. Okay, because you're accountable for every idle word. Yeah, if it comes to it and you don't, and why, I mean, what kind of a dad would park his car with all of his wife and his little kids in it to jump out and help somebody and put his entire family at risk? What if it's not really a rape? What if they just really wanted your car? All that stuff's going to go through everybody's head. There's not going to be any cavalry. So you plan on getting out of Dodge, you need to become your own cavalry. You need to be your own soldier. You need to become your own superhero. Don't go out and buy that. It doesn't do you any good to have body armor if you can't carry the body armor. I don't own body armor. I could not put the vest and the plates on and walk more than 50 yards. All I would do would have to throw the money away. If you cannot walk with what you own, you don't own it in SHTF. Okay? In total SHTF. I wish I had some really good advice, but you have to look at it from your own personal situation. The plan that we have now is completely different than the one we had 10 years ago. It's not even close. The plan we had 10 years ago was nothing like the one we had 10 years before that. And several plan changes in between all those that I'm talking about. The plan cannot remain the same year after year after year after year. If you make a plan for everything to happen or go a certain way when the kids are 3 years old, 3, 4, 5, let's say you stair-step the little brats, and then you haven't modified anything and they're 13, 14, 15, you're throwing a bunch of diapers and crap or whatever, pull-ups, whatever, high chairs, whatever little the kids I said need. I was like a real good dad. I paid attention. And they don't need that stuff. You don't have the same, none of the life vests fits them anymore. Nothing, it doesn't work the same. Do you have a plan for your family to get back together? And not just this is our rally point. What good does it do to have a rally point if you don't have a plan of some sort? Doesn't, I mean, you can't like etch it in stone and say, if you detour from this, we're not going to let you back in the house, Bubba. Can't be like that. But if there's no plan and something goes wrong, you can't go help them. If all you knew is that they were at point A and they were supposed to get to point B, you have no idea where to go looking for them if they don't show up. So you need to make a plan. And you don't need that part of that plan. I mean, the clean hands do not make it your plan to blow people away because they looked at you funny. Do not have a super aggressive dog that the only people safe in your house with it are you and your family. Because then you can't help anybody. And if you can't help anybody, then nobody is going to help you. Hey, Dior. So, Tina, you're just going to let your family just drive away and leave you there with 2 other people? Okay, Grouchy. That's right. You got to go to work at like crazy hours in the morning. Boy, that's what I mean. A generic plan not going to cover everything, but in a pandemic, how do you know how you get infested? You can only, unless you're ready to stay locked in your house for 3 or 4 months while everybody finishes dying off, then you're going to have to go outside. Hey, Savage. Okay, let's stop talking about explosives in the chat, please. Good. I mean, a little respect for the OPSEC and the safety and freedoms of your host would be cool.
No, they were saying put them at the port.
Oh, yeah, but let's see some LOLs or something. Last thing I need is to get swatted, okay? Doing some research on that, and it's like seriously a big thing now. And that looks really cool. The sun's coming through. I'm not going to close the curtain because my plant wants some sunlight. I gotta go get some coffee. This is my wall. I still haven't found my flag. I don't know what to do with it. Play a game. Not counting what's on the desk. Everybody guess how many knives Wes has on his person right now. Just for funs. You only get one guess each. So think it through. One guess each. How many knives does Wes have on his person right now? I would help y'all by telling you, so cheat but I don't know. I don't have a clue. Ooh. That crazy. Oh. Y'all let me know when everybody's taking a guess, and then I'll pull them out and count them. That's not 12. It's definitely not 0. Hey, Eric. Today is a special day, and if you came in late. I was butchering animals today. Okay, that's good. Everybody started doing something else. Let's count. We have 1, 2,
Yours. More than one?
3. That's just the extras, and then we have 4, 5. It just occurred to me when I was walking into the kitchen. I was like, why do I feel so heavy? And 6. So we don't count this one because it was actually I took it off and set it on the desk. So 5. 5. That's just crazy. I love this knife. Just look.
It's bright coming through the room.
Yeah, but it's probably up for what, about another 30 minutes?
Yeah. Do not. Let's see that. Do not leave the blood from opossum liver on your stainless steel knife blade. Left it on there overnight and it cooked the crap out of it. You know where I got this one. Oh, yeah, I do. Well, I have to figure out something for a baby product. I could say I'd give you this, but you can't have him. He's mine. Truthfully, the thing is, pavement is going to be a death sentence in disasters. If they say that you should voluntarily evacuate in the way or in the because of the threat of a hurricane, and you are found to be on the coast during a hurricane, this is me. If they say, hey, you need to evacuate, and you don't evacuate, okay? And then they have to send people out there to risk their lives to rescue you because you didn't want to evacuate. I think you should have to personally pay the bill. I know if you leave, people can like loot your house or whatever. But at least it's just stuff. You're not putting, good men and good women's lives in danger and taking away much needed tax dollars that could go somewhere else and getting you off the roof of your house when you had 2 weeks to get out of the way. You had 2 weeks to cut water moccasins loose in your house and let them deal with the looters and go up country to see your grandma or grandkids or whatever. I don't like hurricanes. I don't live on the coast. We just have to deal with tornadoes. Freaking things get too damn close. I mean, you should roll the dice. I mean, I don't mind watching them roll across the prairie, but when it's close enough where you can't see it, I don't like those. Those are unpleasant. So. Yeah, tornadoes, 100-mile-per-hour straight line winds, softball size hail. Squirrels will work. You don't have a pissed off squirrel running around you. You've been bit by a squirrel? Really get bit by a chihuahua, and I hate that. Katie and Dan's in here. I didn't see him pop in either. But I'm just saying if they say, hey, you might have to evacuate, that's enough warning to get ready, to get out of there. There's always some kind of advanced warning. When the people in China were walking around with the mask all over the place, people were making fun of them. They didn't want to get sick and die. I thought, hey, look, little Chinese peppers. That's all I thought. I mean, they had enough masks to wear them every day. Then the disease didn't spread and kill everybody. Pretty smart to me. Been bit by a ground squirrel. Been bit by a kitten too. I don't rescue ground squirrels or kittens anymore. Oh, you got a pet squirrel, Eric? I'd get a squirrel. Yeah, it's the right way to do it is to bite the squirrel. I don't eat squirrels here. If I want to eat squirrel, I got to do the ground squirrels. And with my daughter's little terrier mix, I didn't have no squirrels, no rabbits, no squirrels. I haven't been able to shoot a rabbit or a ground squirrel here in how long? And cats are evil.
It's truth asking what a groundhog is.
Are you asking about if what a groundhog is, or if I could shoot and eat a groundhog? We don't have groundhog here.
Prairie dog.
We have Welby dogs, which are like groundhogs, but smaller. And they carry the Black Death. What, the squirrels? I don't know how many squirrels are on psychotropics, but all of them need to be.
Yes. The answer is yes, but read that damn dude.
Yes. Dan, Arcadian Dan. Hoping I get a chance to redeem myself. Ooh, that's something I can show y'all. Y'all want to demonetize the video real quick? Hold on. Demonetize video. Yeah, it's after the claymores and all that other kind of stuff.
But I'm smoking on that. Well,
Doesn't cost me. This is very scary. Okay? I just want y'all to know that. You gotta be shocked or nothing. I want y'all to realize that I'm making it safe. Isn't it shiny? Is it old? Is it new?
LS.
Stop doing that. Gonna get me in trouble. But I gotta go treat it now. I gotta go make sure the little plus sign is on the right plus sign. Don't look. If you push it down with your fingers and then slide the bolt forward, the bullet doesn't go in. The bullet's not going. It's still safe. You close it and then just set down safety. Oops. Ooh. Put it on there. Oh, I like this rifle. Kicks like a mule, but I like it.
Now dealer's store.
Viewers. Alright, where's the irradiation? But I've been looking all over for this all day, but I couldn't find it in all the pocket knives I have. Garden's up and growing ish. We should probably go look at it. I think it's got squash all over it. I have to put you on a retainer or something, Ella. It's a 270. I prefer the 270 over full 30 caliber. A little bit flatter, but it's got all the other stuff to it. I'm not a fan. I've shot several 243s. Not ever going to be a fan. people say, "Oh, well, there's not that much recoil." There's entirely too much recoil for the size of projectile you're putting down range. You're gonna go with 243, just do a 5.56 or something. Okay, it's a little projectile. There you go. Yes. Now I'm not busting on a 243. I'm just saying I personally don't like them for a few. I mean, they're, what's the right word? If you got a really good rifle, they're the windage and elevations are easier to learn. But if you, whatever rifle it is that you get, that's something I strongly advise people. Keep your, don't have a butt ton of rifles, okay? That, you know, having 7 or 8 different deer rifles and only shooting one of them all the time and then expecting to be able to go elk hunting. You know, the only thing you ever shoot is your 30-30 or your 30-06. And then you want to go elk hunting and you take your 7mm. And you're like, why? How'd I miss? Well, it's because you never shoot your 7mm. The personal opinion, if I could only have one caliber to go hunting, if I could only buy one caliber rifle and had to use it for everything, there would be the 7mm Magnum. Because, yeah, it just depends on what load you put in it. You know, what's like, if you're going deer hunting, do not put soft tips in there. I don't want anything left. And see, I've never shot a 308. I've shot the, well, maybe I have. I don't know. I've got an Nagant and a 7.62 by 39. But the 7.62 by 39 is not a 308. I believe they're close, but they're not a 308. The 7.62 by 5.4 is not a 308. I mean, same caliber slug, but it's not the same round. Oh, well, yeah, come to think of it, somebody has told me no less than 3 times that we were going to shoot a 308. I can't remember who that was. He let me hold it once. It's a pretty one. Who was that? Was that you? I think it was you. I was looking at one of those ranch rifles or whatever that you can get chambered in the 7.62 by 39. I'm not paying you that much for a flipping bolt action with that shoots surplus ammo, man. You kiss my butt. And especially if you put like a 20-inch barrel on it. What? No, I want all the powder to burn, and then I want the bullet to come out the other end. Because then you have the maximum muzzle velocity for the round. You want like a little poof of fire at the end. You don't want, like, people don't get that. When you shrink the barrel, you slow the bullet. I don't care what the packaging says. What's it? This probably don't even have it on there. Says you get lead poisoned for these. I thought it was fun. Absolutely no statistics on here at all. Oh no, wait, that sounded good. If you take a cartridge that says it has a muzzle velocity of 2,250 foot/second, okay, that muzzle velocity is based on them shooting it out of a specific length barrel. Let's say a 26 or a 28-inch barrel. Okay. Now then, if you take that 26 or 28-inch barrel and shorten it to a 22-inch barrel, you lose muzzle velocity. The projectile is not going as fast at the cartridge as it is when it exits the barrel or any point in between. The maximum what you're looking for is to reach the maximum muzzle velocity as the projectile is leaving into the barrel. I mean, you don't want a 4-foot barrel on there because you might run out of pressure before the bullet gets all the way out there. Then you're actually slowing the bullet down with the last several inches of the barrel. But everybody thinks the accuracy problem with the 2-inch barrel as opposed to a 6-inch barrel is the length of the barrel. To a degree it is, but some of it is the bullet hasn't had a chance to reach its maximum velocity or develop any spin at all. That guy in here saying that the Coriolis effect isn't real, is he? No, that's all right. What's the what?
Texas State.
The Texas State slogan? Don't mess with Texas. Our license plate says drive friendly. No, wait, that's the signs.
West Texas State.
Yeah, that thing. I don't know how to say, not Cornelius, the Cora whatever effect, but I don't know. Does Cornelius make the bullets fly wrong going north and south, or is it east and west? East and west. Anyway, the guy was like, "That doesn't really work." I've played with that. Zero your gun going north and south, okay, and then yeah. Anyway, then you shoot east and west. Don't adjust your gun. Zero it going north, and then turn to the east and lock it down and shoot. Okay, and then turn to the west and lock it down and shoot. And it's weird though, going to the west, like going one way, it's like almost 2 inches, and the other way it'll only be off like 1.5 inches. You would think it would be the same, both sides, It's not. And if it was flat, then it would be off to the right or the left, not up and down. So there's that. I just don't understand why it's not the same low as it is high. Dirt is going that way. It shoots high. Over here, if it's going to the east, it'll be shooting high after you zero it north. But then when you turn around and shoot back to the west, it shoots low, but not as low as it does high. And that could just be the fact that, you know, the elevation and where I'm at. I didn't go out and find a smooth parking lot to do this, because for you to be able to notice it, really notice it, you got to be at 100 yards or further. So, you know, it doesn't affect you in 50 yards. I mean, and the faster the projectile, the less it affects you. You really want to notice it, zero it at 100 yards with subsonic, which travel slow because they're, come on, somebody say it, subsonic. And then, but you can't zero your gun with regular high velocity rounds and then go out and shoot subsonic and expect it to be on target. Okay. I can't zero my deer rifle for 160 grain slugs and then go to 140 and expect it to be the same. HCP's in here.
And then we found out that Nevada is communist.
Nevada plans on annexing Southern California. And then they're going to call it Calivada. Now, I do want a long eye relief scope. I just want like a 4th power. 4.6, something like that. Not. But I want a long eye relief. Not like for a pistol, but they have some that have like, you know, 8 to 10 inch eye relief. Hey, Eliza. I have to find a babysitter for my dog. Something go shooting. Yeah, sure. We could bring in the chinchillas. Have you ever seen one of those, dude? They're just like so cute. You just want to like skin them and wear them. That might have been a line. I may have crossed a line. I'm not real sure. Misty didn't like it when I started talking about skinning and wearing chinchillas, that's for sure. But hedgehogs are cute too, but you don't want to skin those and wear those. So cool. We should all go watch Wes Hess in 30 minutes then. I wonder what chinchilla tastes like. I wonder if it tastes like rat. When did that happen? Viewers, I have not looked at the news one time today. It's my day off. She wouldn't let me eat the daggum thing. Something about it being some kind of whatever. I thought it was a chinchilla, but she kept calling it a pet. I don't even know what one of those are. I've never eaten a pet either.
It happened on Tuesday.
I have not seen a thing about it in any of my headlines that I look at. I honestly think that I don't get the same version of Drudge Report that you people get. Oh, we look at Drudge Report, blah blah blah. So I mean, there's Drudge Report right there. I never see this crap you people are talking about. Who? What were they? And see the 130 to 100. It was 100.
Homosexual dude and girl guy.
What they start popping people for? But the 130 grains worked really good in the 700. But this Model 77, this Ruger, it likes a heavier bullet. Don't know why. Then it's got a different stuff. The rifling, it's got a more aggressive twist. Or less aggressive twist, maybe. I don't know. But at 200 yards, the pattern will actually spread out with the lighter slugs. But you can run a little bit heavier load in this one with 150 something. Big heavy ass bullet. And it does not. Kicks like a freaking mule, but it shoots straight.
One person killed. Six captives.
Hey, Gypsy Nurse. How's your caravan holding up? Okay, so a couple of gay dudes started shooting up a school, and they're not. It's that QAnon thing, I think. It's too cryptic for me. It has too much. There's too much room for interpretation, and if you don't know, there's a code. If you don't know the code, you don't know what they're saying. And I got better things to do with my downtime than to learn some dude's code. Grow a pair, say what the hell you mean. Depends on who you listen to on deciphering QAnon, what they're saying. So it's too subjective. And none of them, I haven't seen any of QAnon stuff happen. None of it. Or I wasted like 4 or 5 months on it. And in that 4 or 5 months, I never saw any of it come to fruition. So I just dropped it.
I barely understand Chinese. Away from codes.
It's some more that what doomer porn. I could do doomer porn. I mean, it's not hard to do. But that's not going to do anybody any good. I don't care what causes. There's this Star Wars, the original, the first Star Wars ever made. There's these 3 dudes. They found out that something horrible is happening, and they decide they're going to do something about it. They charge into the heart of the beast. They sneak, finagle, get their way into where they need to be to stop the horrible thing from happening, to rescue the princess. They wind up in the trash. It doesn't matter how they wound up in the trash. They were in the trash. It doesn't matter how we wind up in the refuse bin. It just, how do we get out of the refuse bin after we wind up in it? Don't spend all your energy and all your resources trying to figure out how it's going to happen. Do what it takes to survive it happening. I don't know that we can vote our way out of it, but I'm not giving up. It's one fight I can make. It's one dart I can throw. It's one arrow I can loose. It's one shield I can raise, is to vote my conscience. To refuse to participate does not excuse you from the outcome. It quite simply, through inaction, makes you complicit with the crimes. Whichever side the crimes come from. Being duped into voting for the wrong person is forgivable. In my opinion. Voting for nobody because you don't want to be part of the problem, there's no way to get away from it. You just allowed yourself to support the problem. You just didn't want to fight it. You didn't want to pick a side. You didn't want to try. Hey, upset woman.
What? What's the question?
We lock our house all the time.
Do you even know where your house key is?
Yes, I know where my house key is.
Do I have a house key?
I don't know. I'm going to lock you out of the house now.
You could, because I don't even know.
We live in Luxembourg. How you say Luxembourg? We moved to Europe, by the way. We don't actually live in Texas anymore. So. Gating Dan. There is Foco in here? Anyway, we know a guy who had a humongous gun safe bolted to the walls and to the floor. They took a chainsaw, cut the front door out of the house, went in with a chainsaw, cut the wall and the floor out, and took the entire gun safe, the floor, and the wall with them. Mine are covered in stuff on the dash of the truck. See, now that I need a lockable tool shed, but I had my tool shed. Well, it was the shop at the time, locked up, and it didn't matter. Long story short, apparently my kids had a system for getting in and out of the house that I did not know about. They took the back glass out of the door, put in a piece of plexiglass, and retrimmed it with boards that were easy to remove. They used undersized nails and oversized holes so they could get it out with a butter knife. And they just came in and out the back door as they pleased. My kids are criminals. See, that's all you have to do is worry about getting hair on your clothes from my dog. But that's the way she's raised. I don't do mean dogs. See, yeah, I'll go in a house with a big dog way before I go into a house full of chihuahuas. No, but if somebody made a red flag call on him, that's all it takes. You need to fight red flag laws in your cities, in your states, and your counties. Every aggressive dog I've ever had to use a firearm to defend myself against were German Shepherds. I won't have one on the property. My daughter has one, and it's a standing rule: don't bring the dog to my house. If he exits the vehicle without restraint, he doesn't get back in the vehicle because he has a bad problem. So. Or chow dogs. Now, I've met German Shepherds that are really sweet. I mean, super sweet animals. But I just have a thing. I mean, I've been attacked by too many of them. So, in the one, granted, he thought he was doing his job, but his job was 50 yards that way, not where I was at. I got lucky. The dog slipped and busted his butt, and I was able to get a steel-toed boot in his rib cage and get him off of me long enough to get in the vehicle. I was doing my job. No. Red flag law means that, let's say that David here, David E. Burden, gets upset with LS. And we all know LS is crazy as a March hare. Okay. David knows that she has firearm. And because there's a red flag law in effect in the state of New Braunfels, Hampshire, where they live, then David calls the popo and says, hey, you know, LS is crazy and she's thinking about hurting herself, but she's planning on taking out 4 or 5 people before she goes, and she's got a whole bunch of guns. That, with a red flag law, that's all it takes, because David made the phone call. Now the police, because of the red flag law, have to go to LS's house. They knock on her door. They say, hey, L, we're going to come in and take all your guns. And there's nothing you can do about it, because we got a phone call that said you was a danger to yourself or to other people. Then they take all your guns, or they take all the LS's guns. And now she has to go to court and spend thousands of dollars proving that David was just pissed off and wanted her to lose all her stuff. It will. I mean, with the red flag law, they can take your stuff away. They don't have to have a search warrant. Nothing. He's gonna get your crap. And if they pass it for firearms, there will be loopholes in it for other things. They can come arrest you even if you haven't done a crime. They go, oh, we got a phone call said you were a danger to Ma Bell down the street. We're going to arrest you, and you're going to have to prove that you weren't planning on hurting Ma Bell down the street. Yeah, red flag laws are a bad idea. I just got a notification that Blue Ridge Detectors posted first time. Somebody's looking at a rock. See, I mean, and I want everybody to go back a year and a half, 2 years ago, and watch a video on my channel about some B something or other, B1807 or something like that. I'll see if I can find it and link it. Told y'all 2 years ago they were fixing to start pushing these red flag laws through. Nobody listened to me. That sounded just like Uncle Al. Nobody listens to the crazy old Chinese guy, or Japanese, or whatever. Asian dude. They put out a big deal. I mean, all the lawyers got together and said, "Hey, we need to pass this law. All the states need to pass this law." I said, "No, we don't. No, y'all need to write all you people right now and tell them, no, we don't want that law." The lawyers are going around doing speeches and stuff. Because guess what? That law is good for them. Now they get paid money to get your stuff back for you. It's a great marketing ploy on their part. They were like, "Oh, well, there's nothing we can do, so we didn't do nothing, and now there's nothing we can do." Oh, wait, yeah, there is. Any law that's passed can be unpassed. You can repeal a law. Good night, Acadian. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll get lucky and get to go hang out with Woodbeard again. The world's been at war since the 60s, 50s, 50s. That's the plan, I think. When it does when the pimple swells to the point where there's very little skin left on the top of it anymore and it explodes. I mean, it's not going to spread. Get prep, food, water, a way out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge now if you can. Is there really anything available in the city for you that's not available somewhere else? Is there anything more important than the love of your wife, your husband, your children, your grandchildren? Can you not worship your God outside of the city? If you're a doctor, can't you practice medicine in a rural setting? If you're a lawyer, can't you practice law in a rural setting? If you're an architect, can't you practice architecture in a rural setting? Do you have to be in the middle of a giant death trap? Or do you choose to be? You choose to be part of the immorality, the inhumanity that takes place in large population centers. If you think more large population centers are a sign of civilization, You need to spend more time driving around your large population center. Look under the bridges. Don't drive over them. When you look under the bridges, you're going to see people living there. Don't drive straight home. Drive to the whole part of town. You'll see people living in buildings that haven't been repaired from the last fire that the building suffered. You'll see people living in cardboard boxes. You will see young people selling their bodies. Not all of them for drugs. Some of them just for food or for rent. Large population centers. Shit's already hit the fan there. The uber poor don't know any difference between the guy in Trump Tower and the guy in suburbia. Don't feel any different about them. So, that's been the way it's been going for forever, Diorch. I mean, it's I'm gonna have to check into that. The stories I got from World War II prior to 1953 from the old vets and stuff was that even then in North Africa, in the Middle East, where all the oil was, that they used to fight a war with, big ones like World War II over there. There were two types of Muslims even then. The kind that really liked what the Nazis were doing, you know, totalitarian government type stuff, and those that just wanted to be left to live the way they had been. Now, granted, this Syria, what's going on right now and what happened in 1953 ain't none of my business, but what's happening right now is Obama's mess in Syria. We need to just we need to step out of that. We need to quit trying. I mean, the guy they're saying who was so terrible in Syria as a leader, while he was in there, there wasn't terrorist attacks there until the rebellion started. Until, you know, a few years short prior to the civil, and it wasn't even Syrians that started the rebellion, the civil war, if you will. It was from the outside, and yeah, that was Obama's doing. And that went up fast. They, granted, they didn't want to play ball. They would have just as soon used the ruble as the USD. You know, the ruble did more for their economy, quite honestly. So why not? Who's Smedley Butler? We were, man, I don't, this had set off. We were winning. Whether it was us or not, it doesn't matter. The way we wanted it to go, we were getting there. And then we wound up with 8 years of a Clinton. And he sat there with his hands folded, ignoring it, while people slaughtered each other. All the stuff that we were doing to protect those people from each other was just stopped. Yeah, she feels pretty rough. She's been over there with her, not even the cute little Eeyore face she has sometimes, but the Grinch Who Stole Christmas face. She don't feel good. This is used to it. Be right back before she turns the pot off and we'll get some coffee. Can you turn the pot off? All right, guys, this is my last cup of coffee right here. Turn the pot off and everything. Drink it and then drink this water. Probably wipe the body parts off of it. you order you another one of them cords? That's the sound of her ignoring me. Still doing my straw. What are we talking about? Let's keep the metaphors clean. This is not yeah, they are. The problem with letting and I agree to a point, that, but the problem with letting the world fight their battles is, well, you can be anywhere in the world in just a few hours. So it's not exactly like the world is isolated anymore. It hasn't been since the advent of flight. I mean, why we can't coexist if there aren't a set of rules. If we're not all governed by the same rules. If the laws pertaining to a Buddhist and a Satanist and a Muslim and a Christian aren't all the same, then we can't coexist. So there we go. And the laws in the U.S. originally, not quite a few of the new ones, but for the most part, are all ones that Catholics, Baptists, everybody, Hindu, Buddhist, we could all get along with. Basically, don't hurt nobody, don't tear nothing up, don't steal, don't kill nobody. Basic civilized laws. The problem is now that we no longer have those kind of laws. I want to get my whetstone nasty. Might have drug this one across a bone or two. Guess the question a while ago should have been, how many dull knives does West Ellis have on? You could have answered that one easy. One. There. Mom, I feel better now. Okay, Truth. As to what's language, it's there you go. You can say it a different way than that. And we're getting awful close to hating, and we don't do that here. I can state that I know that hardline Islam is not in line with the American Constitution. I can state that for a fact. Simple. You don't have to be hating to get it done. Keep. Yeah, but the military-industrial complex is not owned by Israel. They had to beg, borrow, you go to debt for forever to get what they needed to do what they needed to do. The Vatican has more gold resources or reserves or whatever than the Jewish nation does, for sure. Yeah, let's switch to that because I really don't like doing the political stuff because I can see parts of everybody's deal, but there's very few people want to see the truth. I mean, none of it's true. Black pill everything. Okay, black pill everything. When I open Drudge Report, the first thing I do is black pill all the headlines. See what's there and what's not there. And see, okay, what is Drudge Report trying to show me today? It's I black pilled that movie Alpha and found it to be a very poor attempt at what they were trying to do. But I'm not good at doing the whole, what they're trying to tell you videos. If you want to see all that, you need to go to that black pill dude. He's really good at it. It really is. I mean, and it's not the country of it's not the government of Israel that I hold in high regard. It's the race, if you will, the chosen ones. That's what my faith says I need to pray for. But the Israel of the Bible, LS, be careful. Israel of the Bible is not the Israel of today. The Israel of the Bible is not the Israel of today. It's not the country of Israel today. It's not the government of Israel today. And yeah, that would be like saying that. I mean, that would be like saying that we're all that. If you want to know what America stands for, just go talk to our government. That would be inaccurate. Miss something. Don't think they're in there, Eliza. They're not a real peoples. I mean, I ain't done any research on them. All I know is all they had to do is say, yes, Israel, you have the right to exist as a nation, and they could have had the entire Gaza Strip to themselves. All they had to do was sign a piece of paper and make a public announcement, and they could have had their own country. It was their choice. I agree, Westwind. Hey, Sergeant Smith. we're depends on how you look at Revelations. I mean, we could be halfway through it. We could just be getting started. If you pluck somebody from 100 AD and brought them into World Wars One or two, or into modern day Middle Eastern situations, how do you think they'd write it down? What do you think they would see? Giant flying scorpions launching death from their bellies and breathing fire. Screaming eagles flying around and causing entire cities to burst into flames. They'd shit themselves. So it's relative. We've become desensitized. We honestly, as desensitized as we are, we have no idea how bad it really is. The I think I had a thought. David, you got any proof for that? Yeah, I've heard of it. Nobody can produce any documentation. I heard I was a millionaire. I can't produce the cash. How far'd you fall, Rob? I don't even try to figure stuff like that out. Trying to figure out Revelations, when it's happening, and what part we're in, and this, that, and everything else. It doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Focus on the person in the mirror and get as close to the Heavenly Father through the Son as you can. That's all you can do. Like what's going down in the chat over here. Break anything, Robert? I mean, get right with God and then get right with the preps in that order. Feeding. There are emotions that are of. Let's don't talk God and the devil here. Okay. Let's just talk light and dark. Just plain good and evil. Okay. There are emotions that can be attributed to the light. There are emotions that can be contributed to the dark. Love, like the love you have for your children, the love you have for your spouse, the love you have for your parents, the love for you that you have for your brothers in arms. This love that is good. That is the light. That is attributed to the light. Fear. Fear of oppression, fear of failure, fear of the dark, fear of the light, just fear. Quaking, blinding fear, paranoia. That's something that would be attributed to the dark. Kindness, the desire within you to be kind to another person or to a kitten. The desire to be kind to a abandoned kitten. That's of the light. The desire to hate. The act of hating something just because it's what it is. Hating a lie. Hating a person for the color of their skin. Hating cats because you're allergic to them. Hating anything. That's going to go to the dark. Wisdom. The security you feel. The warmth and safety you feel from wisdom, from having true wisdom about something. That's the light. The doubt, distrust that you feel when you don't know or understand the situation. That's not from the light. That's from the dark. A lot of the people that I see doing videos or writing articles or expressing themselves in side chats spend a little bit too much time in the dark, not looking, and I'm sorry, you can say you're looking to expose the demons, expose the danger. But if you are possessed of the fear and the hatred and the anger, then you're not dwelling in the light. You're dwelling in, you're being controlled by, you're being governed by your anger, your hate, your fear. You're being governed by the dark. To avoid being governed by the dark, you need to move to the light. To move to something, you have to focus on that something. To focus on something, that has to be what you think about, what you look at, what you dwell on. It doesn't matter. It does. It does. But what can we do about what was done by the alphabet soup 10 years ago, 2 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago? Nothing. If we allow our disdain goes to the light, because you don't like what you're seeing in the dark. You can disdain. I guess disdain could be both sides. If you embrace the dark, then you will disdain the light that is scriptural. Sorry. So if you embrace the light, you will disdain the dark. Okay? You've got, you need either disdain the light or you disdain the dark. If you disdain something, you don't want to help it. You want to hurt it. So if we get to a point where we disdain everything about the country in which we live, how are we going to bring ourselves to help that country? How are we going, if we disdain it, how is that going to help us? How is it going to help us pull it back to light? Now, if we go to light first, and then use the light, the good stuff, to point out what's going on in the darkness, and use our love for the light to express our disdain for the other side, we're actually being proactive. There's action. We can formulate a plan and take action, but we would have to be consistent about it for it to change. It's not We allowed ourselves. We cannot blame the alphabet soup and the thems and the theys. We, as United States citizens, live in a country where we govern ourselves. We live under a set of rules, a set of laws that we ourselves set up. If we didn't like the laws that are being passed, we take the people that were making the laws and we put somebody else in there. For that to work, there were supposed to be people from the populace, that say, hey, okay, we need to govern this because these other people aren't doing it. As a populace, we let our country go to shit. As citizens of the world, we are letting our world go to crap. Because we keep focusing on our anger, on our hate, on all the negative stuff. Keep focusing on, we keep hanging out in the dark. We're staying just close enough to light where we can look into the dark and go, blah, blah, blah. But we're not living in the light. We're wearing blinders and letting it happen. That's on. There's no change without pain. A child isn't born without sweat and tears. It just doesn't happen. Well, I guess maybe like if you were in a bathtub full of ice or something, maybe you wouldn't sweat, but I don't think the baby would like that. Pretty sure the mom wouldn't like that. Ice water would be hard to do. So now we're over on the UN. We could pull out of the United Nations. Oh, wait. No, because then we lose our veto power. Then the UN could start telling us what to do. As it stands right now, anything the UN tries to tell us to do, we can say, no, we're not part of the UN. Then, now granted, we need to be using our veto power for a lot more stuff. But we're not. I strongly suggest that this next election come up, y'all look and see who is on your, go to the meetings, go to the rallies, go to the events where the people are speaking and stuff like that and ask some questions. Google a person. Do a background search on the people, on your local politicians, your county commissioners, precinct people, your justice of the peace, your sheriff. And look past, go deep. Don't just look at the surface because that's what they want you to see. Find the guy that's running for sheriff. Find the people he grew up with and ask about what he was like in high school and then in college. Find out who his friends are, because chances are then you can find out more after you find out who he's running with now. You'll know what he's going to do after he's elected. If he's actually going to be out to help the county, or if he's going to be to help the same good old boys that the other sheriff is helping. If he's running in the same circles with the same people, you're not getting a new sheriff. fix this country, the first thing all of us, and this is my opinion, the first thing all of us need to do is look and see what we let happen that we shouldn't have. What did we let happen when we were in our teens and 20s? You know, we can all start voting at the age of 18. Did we spend our high school years becoming men and women? Or did we spend our high school years being kids? One of the things that keeps popping up is they're trying to legalize pedophilia. I am rock solid against that crap. But this is just something we all need to think about. 100 years ago, what you would do 20 years for today, you know, if you got caught asking, if a 20-year-old guy got caught asking a 14-year-old to dinner, the cops would be all over. But that is how it was done just 100 years ago. People got married at 13, 14, 15 all the time. It wasn't until after the big WW2 that people started waiting to get out of high school or college to get married and start their families. Everybody freaks out that my wife's a grandparent, and she's a grandparent a little early. But 75 years ago, it would not be uncommon for a 45-year-old woman to be a grandmother. Matter of fact, it would be considered a joy. If something after WW1 changed everybody's look on stuff, all of a sudden, when we started doing all this really weird meddling with everybody's world and stuff, we went from, everybody getting to be a kid up until the time they were an adult, and then they needed to grow up, to now it's okay. People are literally okay with their children being children up until the time they're 26, 27, 28 years old. Your child's been away at college for 4 years and he still drives home every 2 weeks so he can use your washing machine. You spend your entire life getting to a point where you can live comfortably. And your kid wants to go to college, so you pay his student loans. Now you're in debt $200,000 or $300,000, so that or more, so that your kid cannot go to work in the field he went to school for, or she. Now I'm just ranting. Our country is in desperate need of tradesmen. Nobody's raising their children to be tradesmen. I want you to have a better job, a better life than I had. Shut up, dude. Woman, why are you disrespecting yourself? You fed and clothed your children their entire lives. You kept a roof over their head their entire lives. You did so by getting blisters, busted knuckles, sunburn, sore toes, falling off a ladder and breaking your foot, 15 feet. What's wrong with what you did? It earned you the love and respect of your family. What's wrong with that? Why is that not as important as being a investment banker where your family doesn't ever get to see you? I've completely fallen behind in the deal. I started talking like that, and I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at the chat. I get behind. I don't know what everybody's talking about. Yeah, one that I bet it was his idea anyway, Smith. Yeah. And you know what's funny? I mean, we've got all these people of questionable national um, allegiance here working for really good money. I mean, we're talking these guys, they're working 60 hours a week, 60, 70 hours a week, but they're home every Saturday and Sunday. And they're kicking back 65, 85 a year. That's not bad. Oh, she's trying to keep you on a diet, or maybe she's trying to keep you out of her special diet. No, the Dewey Decimal System was designed to do that. Public library was designed to limit access to higher education. Didn't know that, did you? The public libraries were supposed to be the original World Wide Web. Pretty cool. But they only wanted certain people to know how to use it. The public school systems were originally designed to produce workers, not slaves. There's a difference. But we let the government take over public schools. We need more private schools, not homeschools. I don't have anything against homeschooling, but we need more private schools. People need to step up and pay for their own kids' education. That way you are in control of what your kids learn. Do you know that? Yeah. I was here to hold my beer and watch this. And I didn't go. I didn't get to go. I wanted to go really bad. I think that may have been why I didn't get to go, because I wanted to go so bad. There's then you need better private schools. Hey Rob, if you can still hear me, I just remembered there's this guy you need to look up. He used to play with apples or something. His name was Newton. Oh. He discovered this thing called gravity. And sorry, I just like popped in my head. I'm a horrible friend. I apologize. If you are deliberate about homeschool, but that, okay, go do your work. No, you sit there and you school your kids. You teach your kids. You don't let them teach themselves. You teach them. We taught our children. What's that other thing? Something about physics or something? What was it? Motion or objects at rest tend to stay at rest. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Or is it An object in motion will stay in motion until it is met with an equal or an opposite force of equal energy or something like that. I can't remember. High school went a long time ago. Yeah, almost Mother's Day here too. Well, actually, I got a couple hours. But tell your dogs good night, Savage. Yeah, I never was good at history. I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone what George Washington did when he was like loading the ark or whatever. So, yeah, I'm sitting there just staring at the chat now. So, like to catch that, I was wondering if it was going to slide by everybody. Oh, really? You just give them crayons and a piece of sheetrock and tell them to go get her done, or what? You're no. because they're going to do away with borders and they're rewriting history, and economics are a sham. There's a little bit of truth to it, Ella. They don't teach you how to balance your checkbook anymore. No, not. Well, my fellow patriots, I am going to get off of here. I'm going brain dead just sitting there reading the chat, and it's super exciting, I'm sure, to watch me focus through my bifocals. Yeah, I have to force myself to remember how to do it. It's been so long. I mean, I do the or the stabby thing now. I carried the checkbook forever, but then I realized that most of the checks were going to Walmart. They would just, I'd do all the work, and then they would just run that through the machine and hand me the check back. I'm like, then I have to process that. And I'm sorry, I do not now, nor have I in for 10 years, believed that Walmart is a private company. Walmart is, I don't know if no, Walmart funds government. Walmart gets away with too much crap that nobody else will try to pull. Walmart tries all the really weird stuff first. Almost every Walmart out there now is identical in the way they're put together. And all the ones that had 2 separate doors for the grocery stores and the rest of the Walmart, they're being phased out. They're trying to get them all down to a back door and a front door. And I'm sorry, but 2 exits are easier to watch than 3 exits. Wow, that's crazy, H&X. Yeah, if y'all want to go over and sub each other, I don't care. I don't promote that, but it doesn't hurt if somebody's got content. If they've got content. Don't give people numbers if they don't have content. It's just silly. You have content. You have baby goats and baby pigs and stuff, man. You got serious content. HTP. I started to set up the video camera and video me whacking a goat's head off. And then I didn't want to. And I said, well, I'll video me skinning the goat. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. And I was like, well, I'll video me cutting the goat up into pieces. And I was like, I don't want to. And you know what? I went out there, got it done, and got back in the house. I was able to sit down and have a cup of coffee and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. Didn't take hardly any time to do it. Literally, live animal, a bunch of chopped up pieces of animal in a bucket. Well, actually, a big pan in under an hour and a half. Well, just over an hour and a half. And I couldn't have done that if I was trying to film it. It just wouldn't happen. Yes. As soon as we figure out the timing and the financing, Ellis. See, I got a video out there of me, like the whole 9 yards. It shows the whole thing. Nobody's watching. So, and it occurred to me that the only people that do want to watch you actually in the animal probably got issues. And, well, I don't want to feed those issues. I won't do the lopping the head off thing again. No, it didn't bleed out nearly as well as slitting the throat. The heart quit beating. Took the head off and the heart quit beating. Now I know why you slit the throat. So yeah. It was quicker for the animal though, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna cook some of it tomorrow and find out. Let's just not kill each other. How's up? Yes, we do. I just never think to go to HEB. It's like, well, it's a 40-minute drive for me to HEB. We don't have crap here. We were gonna get one, and then the people with the little drawing circle thingy didn't want it here, so we didn't get it. Yeah. Um, yeah, I should have done it this morning when it was 50 degrees outside, but I didn't. Most of the guys out on the street aren't going to have it. But anyhow, I really am. I'm going to get off here this time, because missus don't feel good. I ain't going to sit in here and keep yakety. Man, with the homeless, I think you're better off if you actually, well, some of them, I think you need to, they need time. They need people to invest time in them. Does that make any sense? Like BA and them do. They invest their Friday afternoons. Not everybody. I hope you enjoy your gold-plated rum sticker there, buddy. Just stayed. I was wow. But hope your foot gets to feeling better, Rob. Really do. You should like get an air mattress and put it at the bottom of the things, I guess, or I don't know, wear a harness. That's with you. Love you, brother. See, now you got some downtime. You can edit. All y'all stay alive. Don't die. All right. God bless.